It's the Center Fantasy Football Podcast.
Welcome to the party, pal! Yes! Yes!
Yes, this is my favorite part of the game.
Analyzing all of the league matchups week to week.
You can't win!
Get him a body bag! Finish him!
It is a bit above average.
I said this sucks, and basically so do you.
And discussing the boom, bust, and hidden gem players throughout the league.
We ain't found shit!
What the hell is Brett Favre doing here?
I'm in town to play the Dolphins, you dumbass.
Dan Marino should die of gonorrhea and rot in hell. Laces out.
Touchdown!
And here's your host,
Allow myself to introduce myself.
David Harbatkin. Hello and welcome to the Center Fantasy Football Podcast for Week 9 of Season 10. You have this should be an upbeat program because all three of us are winners, I believe, this last week. This is the first time that's happened in a while.
Yeah, lucky Nick and Jamie didn't play Zeke.
So say hello, everyone.
What's up, everyone?
What's up, everyone?
All right. So actually there's a lot of trade stuff there was NFL trade news. There's a lot of I think there was a lot of transactions within our league. Of course, the guy that I went after, I didn't get because the Raccoons got him. They actually spent money this week. So tons to talk about, and the games themselves. So let's look at that. All right. Where shall we begin? I mean, we could start with my blowout.
Okay, let's start there.
I mean, that's pretty boring. So the blowout of the week, rebounding after our spiderweb game, the 1603ers destroy the Wakanda Panthers 162.96 to 98.48. Yeah, I mean, and this is so, by the way, such a high score with a bunch of I guess they're theoretically bench blunders, although I mean, I was discussing this with Geese about the Isaiah Likely situation. So he got 19.7. I mean, that whole thing was screwed from the get-go. I mean, because Andrews what?
After I saw him on your bench on Thursday, I thought you were likely to lose. But
you should know the Thursday game doesn't. The Thursday game doesn't determine anything.
That's true.
And then I ended up having Irv Smith, who's now on, IR or whatever anyway, and got like so here's the thing. What would you have? I'm just curious. What would you have done? Would you have played Andrews in that game, or would you have played Likely, or would you have played Irv Smith? I mean, obviously your opinion is biased now that you know the results, but like, if you could be honest, what would you have done?
I would have played Irv Smith at the tight end slot and then put was Andrews gonna play or was he?
Yeah, that was the thing. So he hadn't practiced all week.
Okay.
And then they said that he was gonna play. And he did play. And he played and they got injured midway through the game. I don't think it was unlikely that I would play Likely. I mean, it was the backup with Andrews playing.
Yeah, I mean, I probably would have played Andrews knowing that, like, if right before the kickoff, if you knew that he was going to be in.
Yeah, he was definitely in.
But I don't think you did the wrong thing. I would have been back and forth with that decision because Irv Smith, they were playing. We all knew that Minnesota Arizona game would be high scoring.
Yeah, which is why I played him.
Right. So and it was high scoring. He just didn't get many targets. But yeah, I mean, I probably would have gone with that at the end of the day.
Yeah.
You made the right decision. Nobody knew anything about Likely. We were all surprised by that.
Yeah. And then, I mean, and honestly, Irv Smith ended up getting more than Andrews anyway. I mean, not by much, but still, whatever. So that was a wash. But other than that, I mean, this whole game was driven by, I mean, the first 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then it just falls off a cliff, whatever. But I mean, The RB1 and 2 right now. I mean, they all just alone they were almost enough to beat Wakanda in this game.
Yeah.
I mean,
I may have played Irv Smith at the tight end slot and then played Andrews at the flex,
and it wouldn't have made a difference because
it wouldn't have made it.
Yeah, I mean,
McCaffrey and Foreman just went nuts.
Yeah, they went nuts. I mean, Myers and Cup also did their duty, as did Garoppolo. So I mean, good game. And then you go to the other side. Other than Nick Folk getting 21 points, I mean, Wakanda's awful.
It's pretty bad.
Yeah. I mean, so Geno Smith gets 23. I mean, he's been fine as a quarterback, but other than that, Reynolds wrap with 3.4, 6.5 for Zay Jones, 7.7 for Mustard. Jonathan Taylor, man.
I mean, the Colts, they're
floundering. Yeah, and then 76 yards and 1 fumble loss for Jonathan. I mean, that's just, Freiermuth, who's been pretty good at tight end, 9.7. Ingram got 15.5 in the London game. And then, I mean, other than that, I mean, Cousins had 27 on the bench, but other than that, there's not really even anything there. I mean, he just couldn't. You could add. So you could have given him his entire roster, added the 50 points, and I still would have won this game.
Yeah, it was just a beatdown for sure.
Which was necessary.
Go ahead. I think you should have gotten 5 extra points for McCaffrey. Catching a touchdown, throwing a touchdown, and running it in for a touchdown. I mean, that's insane.
I know.
It's incredible.
He looks like it looks like it might actually work out a little bit on San Francisco. So between him and Foreman, I'm feeling pretty good. I was nervous about seeing Cup almost get injured in garbage time. I mean, I think he'll be fine, but that was
okay.
Yeah, but that was concerning for a second right there. I mean, Wan'Dale Robinson kind of.
Foreman is incredibly underrated. I was talking to Dave about this before the show. Like, everyone talks about Penny was the reason I won the championship last year. Foreman was a big part of it. When Henry went out, like they didn't miss a beat with their run game on Tennessee. Like he was amazing. And I guess Carolina saw that and they're like, you know what? I'd rather get some picks and
I mean, I think that I agree. I think that's why they went out to get Foreman in the off season. And then I think when presented with the offer, why not get the picks? And I think it shows a lot about the Carolina offense. I mean, they just, they're able to funnel it to the running back. I mean, like I was almost concerned. I mean, I wasn't really that concerned, but after the Spiderweb game, I was like, oh, I mean, like I knew that McCaffrey, it was his first game and he really hadn't practiced with the team, but there was a slight thought in the back of my head, like, what if it was just Carolina's offense that generates points for the running back and he happened to be the running back there? I mean, clearly we could see after this week that's not the case, but there was a moment of concern over that.
Well, it also helps that Baker's not there now.
That's true too.
That's huge because I think it doesn't matter who the running back is. If Baker is there, it's just going to be shit.
Yeah, I mean that's true. And the interesting thing I was watching, I mean, and I always talk about this, like because I'm so focused on fantasy football, I rarely have an idea of what's going on in actual football. And like when January rolls around, I'm always like, how was that team in the playoffs? They had no good fantasy players. Like I'm just like baffled. But so I was watching that Atlanta
that game was insane.
Carolina game, which was insane. But and they kept saying like the winner of this game gets first place in the NFC South. Like, what a horrid division.
Like it's horrible.
Like
absolutely
4-4 was gonna get ended up getting first. I mean,
Carolina would have been 3-5, but they would have had the tiebreaker.
Yeah, I mean, but they still could end up. I mean, if that division is so horrid and they're still, they got all these picks, Foreman's playing well. I mean, I think it's a net win, that trade for them. I mean, I think it's also a net win for San Francisco as well. I mean, they're looking really good there.
I don't think they're looking that good. I think it's more bad Rams. The Rams are horrible this year. They're so bad.
Yes, they are. But I do think I think it opens up a tremendous amount of options. I mean, it plays into. I mean, because Garoppolo, he's not like it plays into the type of offense that he wants to play. Because now that opens it up for Kittle to get like he did a touchdown. He could dump it off to McCaffrey. Um,
Well, McCaffrey is very versatile. That's the thing. So like Garoppolo is not that good, so McCaffrey really takes a load off of him.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and Geno Smith remains good for
Yeah, he's good.
But that's the only bright spot for Wakanda. I mean, other than Nick Folk.
So, Nick Folk has been tearing it up.
Apparently, has he, or is it just this game? He has a couple of good games. Whatever.
A couple of good games.
That was actually interesting because I also had the Jets game on, and so I had the Jets kicker, he had the New England kicker, but I had the New England defense, and I had I had so much invested in that, and I'm a Jets fan, so like I just had rooting interests, going against each other all day long. So
yeah.
All right, well, that's all I have to say for that
well,
game.
Good win. Good win.
Yes, thank
Keeps you very much in playoff contention.
Well, I needed it because, as I said, what
after 0-3 start, 4-4.
Yeah, and so I mentioned this to you beforehand. I'm going to another game this weekend, another one of my tour of the scintillating matchups within the NFL. So the three games that I will have gone to this year. So I went originally to Pittsburgh, New England, and I went to Dallas versus the Lions, and this week I'm going to the barn burner of the Arizona Cardinals versus the Seabags. And every time I've gone to these horrific games, I have lost. So I needed the win to keep my head afloat. The only thing I have going for me is this week I'm actually going to this game with my this week's opponent. So maybe he'll have some luck as well. But we'll get into that later. All right, so where do we want to go next? We should, we could go to the final. I mean, any one of our wins. Okay. I mean, because the fan goes last, obviously.
We can go to my game.
All right, let's go there. This was a little bit scary for you, considering.
It was considering. I mean, this was everyone's lock of the week going into the game, and I mean. I don't even know where to start. So it was, Pitt. So let's start with the defense. I guess we can go from the bottom up. So Pittsburgh was doing decently in the first half. And I'm like, oh, is this going to be close? And like, Philly's going to get under 10. And no, they had some turnovers and sacks in the second half. So they ended up with 14, which was good. Hunter Henry was just bad, but it's just kind of a week I just had to plug someone in because Kelsey was on a bye. Miles Sanders, I thought he would have a much better game, just run totally over the Pittsburgh defense. He was like hovering around 4 points for most of the game until he had that garbage time touchdown, I think.
Yeah.
And then, that was it for the 1 o'clock window. And then the 4 o'clock window, that's when Henry just lit it up. I mean, he eats the Houston Texans for breakfast. I mean, just ridiculous. I mean, Houston, they're basically like a high school team. He had open hole after open hole, and their quarterback could do nothing. So I don't know. I felt like that quarterback was like, I mean, he's very athletic and stuff, but like I felt like he was trying to run like a high school team offense. Like he was atrocious, but they just gave the ball to Henry, and he had 200 yards and 2 touchdowns. So I mean, that was really good. And then Ayuk caught a touchdown as well, so another 20 points from him. And then I think I only needed 4 points going into the Monday night game. Was it? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So he was up like 102 to 97 or something, and like Burrow. I had Burrow and Boyd going, and Burrow had the most atrocious first half. It was so bad. And at halftime, the score was 102.02 to 102.02. And I was like, what are the chances this ends in a tie? And like, I was talking to Whalers and he was like, there's no chance. Like, I think he had like a funny post.
Had a bunch of funny posts lately.
Yeah. Let me see what he said.
I know it was 10,000 to 1 or something, or 10 million to 1 or something.
Yeah, Yahoo was giving Nick a 9% shot. But he said that that's very high. And then Scott said, you need Burrow to fumble while getting concussed running into Boyd's knee to lose. And then sure enough, 2 minutes later, he scored a touchdown. So that put my misery to bed, and I came out with a win. So very happy to be 7-1. Williams has been excellent. I got to stop benching this guy because like Swift, I mean, even though he's in, he's not getting the majority of the carries, and every goal line carry goes to Jamal Williams. So I'm kind of pleasantly surprised by that, but I got to stop benching the guy.
I kind of feel that way about Khalil Herbert. Even though he's the number 2 guy, he just ends up getting a ton of, he keeps scoring. I mean, he's actually going to play for me this week because I don't really have any other options. But yeah, same kind of thing. He's actually, I was talking to you during the game and you mentioned that about Williams. You were laughing at that.
It's always Williams. I mean, he's made a couple of bench blunders this year. You got to play Williams.
Got to play Williams, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and as far as Nick goes, I mean, obviously 102 is not that great a score, but I mean, it's too bad that it's so late. I mean, Waddle plays really well, but and now that Hines has been traded to Buffalo, I think that's I think that's gonna benefit him. And then he has Harris. It's probably too little, too late. But his team is, I mean, the 1.2 from Adams, that was
that's really bad.
Yeah. Dobbs, who he traded for the other half, 16 points. It's just a comedy of errors over there in Zamunda. I mean, yeah, I don't know.
No one expected Adams to have 1.2. Like if Adams had his kind of normal game, this could have been much closer.
Yeah. This is not a criticism of Nick's coaching, and I'm just saying, like, it sucks for. I mean, but if he would have played, I mean, I guess instead of Robinson, maybe. If he plays Dobbs, he gets that still wouldn't be enough.
Probably Dobbs. Robinson is just going to the Jets. You knew that he wouldn't get that many carries.
Yeah. So I mean, it still wouldn't have been enough. I literally don't think he had enough to win this game.
Yeah.
Is that correct?
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. So there was no way he could.
You also have to put Debo in IR and pick up someone else. What are you doing?
I don't know. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, what is he doing? He's 1-7. I mean, like, how much of his time is invested in this?
Well, he's on the brink of a now, so this is the end of the line.
Yep. And you just So I mean, it was a necessary win. You needed this. Well, I mean, you didn't need this, but
I didn't need it, but I'll take it.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, this would have been a bad loss. So it's good.
Would have been a bad loss. Yeah, I mean, it basically gives me a 2-game lead because I think some teams like made up with the scoring. Like Eugene got closer, and I think
this was a higher scoring week than other ones. Only 2 teams were below 100 this week. I mean, finally some of the points started to come out this week. But yeah, I mean Gronky Kong, Eugene, and me in the 160s. I mean,
yeah, it's a high scoring week.
All right, let's move on to the Hagglers game. This was an important matchup as well. He spotted you a player, and yet you almost blew it. I mean, I know that I kind of tuned out by Monday night. I wasn't really paying that much attention, but were you actually nervous on Monday or?
Big touchdown to T. Higgins was like, no. Spotted me 2 players. Got 0-2, and still proceeded to whip my ass. So I think this week, me and Manny got exposed as far as our quarterbacks go. Both can play pretty poorly. And when they do, the games are a lot closer than we'd like them to be.
As you're sitting at 141, I think that says more about your opponent's score, at least in your game, than it does about your score. But okay.
No, me and Manny rely on our quarterbacks for a huge boost in our point totals. Burrow looked pitiful, and Allen in the second half his points were going backwards, like he was speeding on Route 80. Like this guy was throwing pick. I mean, if
pick
they
after pick after pick in the second half, I don't know what the hell he was doing.
Yeah, I don't know what the hell he was doing. Burrow looked atrocious. We were talking about.
I think he really misses Chase. Like their chemistry, because they played in college together. Their chemistry is second to none. And when he's not there, he's just like he doesn't know where to look because like Boyd and Higgins, they don't get open like Chase does.
Yeah, this game, a lot of concerns. Nick and Jamie played a hell of a game, being 2 players down, really.
Yeah, but they didn't have to be. So first of all, if they would have played Hilliard, that adds 10 points to they would have won. Like it just all they had to do was play the running back that was in the game. All they had to do was not that this should have been a win for Nick and Jamie.
Being in Korea and 13-hour time difference is not an excuse. I mean,
well, they were the future. They had won.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what I probably, let's see. How many hours ahead is Seoul? Let's see.
It's 13.
Okay, there you go.
Seoul is like 23, I thought.
It's not 20. No, nobody's 23 hours ahead unless you're on Mars. Like, what, 23? Who's 23? Unless you're across the international date line.
No, Australia's 23.
You're playing in the Aleutian Islands or something, or in Fiji.
Australia's 16.
What?
16 hours ahead. Australia.
It's 16 hours ahead?
Yeah, Seoul is 13.
All right, Seoul is 13. So then,
I mean, it doesn't matter. There's no excuse for not putting your bench guy in.
2 a.m.? What is that? Right. Oh, it's 13 for you. Sorry, that's why. Okay, because I was confused. So 13 from Eastern. So that's 2 a.m., right?
Season for them already. They don't even care.
It's 2 a.m. So which means that the declarations happen at 12:30, I want to say. He should have known that he was out. Because that was a 1 o'clock. Yeah. I don't know.
I don't know either. All I know is even guy out, this team performed pretty poorly.
Your team performed pretty poorly? Or what?
I pointed in a lot of the performances. Especially quarterback position is very concerning.
141.22.
I don't think you have to be concerned about Allen. I just think he just had a bad second half. He just kind of got a little complacent, being up 27-7.
It was a lot of sloppy play. I think they're reading their own press clippings. I think they've won the Super Bowl already.
Everybody on your team.
Got to get back to the drawing board. That wasn't a good second half for sure.
Everybody on your team, other than the kicker and Singletary, who was 0.7 away, got double digits. It's not a bad performance for me. I don't understand this distress. It's just that Nick and Jamie had a really good game, and they made a really stupid mistake at running back. And should have won by a point.
You ask Manny Friedman, he has the same concerns about Joe Burrow. Like, these quarterbacks can play pretty poorly.
I do, but Chase is coming back. So I think, Allen has all his weapons. So I'd be actually a little more concerned about Allen going forward. But it was just one bad half. I really think it's just a case of him just taking his foot off the gas.
Poorly in the monster.
They were up 27-7. They knew that, the Green Bay, they couldn't do anything. It's just he just made a couple dumb mistakes. I don't think it's I don't really think you have to worry.
But they played poorly against Baltimore too. Trust me, I've watched these guys all season, and they
in a monsoon. It was like the hurricane was coming up the East Coast from Florida.
Well, we have different expectations as coaches than we're back in, all right?
I mean, it's just ridiculous. It's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. 21 points.
It's like Belichick to Steve Nash. It's the difference.
Tyreek Hill got 31. Was that enough because he wasn't in the 40s like some of the other players?
Yeah.
I mean, McLaurin's coming on 16.6. Is that not satisfying for you, Belichick over there? Geza Belichick, huh?
Well, you know what, Harbacken? We've seen this before, okay? We just want to stay consistent.
You won a championship with Joe Flacco. Give me a break. I'm so distressed that I'm only getting 20 points from my superstar quarterback.
Only 10 points from the Dallas defense. That can't make you pleased.
I know,
Giving
only
up
10 from the defense.
points to Justin Fields. That can't make you pleased.
Oh, I know. Well, if you look at the way Hurts played against them, mobile quarterbacks are a problem for Dallas. That is without question. Any quarterback that can move in the pocket, they struggle with.
Yeah, but I mean, but they also gave New England a problem the week before. You know, I mean, one of the things that you and I have touted a lot of the season is how good our defenses are. And and Justin Fields just picked them both apart.
Yeah, true.
Which is
what
why
were you? So did you like Dulcich?
He was okay, but I was very disappointed in him too. Like the whole entire league.
He only got 12.7. My backup loser tight end only got 12.7.
First of all, I don't have ESPN Plus.
He had one really good drive.
That's what I mean. Like I was just about to get to that. So I don't have ESPN Plus, so I couldn't watch the game. So ESPN showing like periodic updates. All of his points came on one drive. So you think like, wow, if he's that open and that good, why don't they go to him the whole game?
They just went to him one drive, and he just barely missed the end zone.
Had all the catches and all the yards, and that was it. You didn't hear a peep from him for the three quarters in what? 13 minutes? In 3 minutes, got all of his points.
Yet he got 12.7 points in those 3 minutes. That's not a bad 3 minutes.
I don't know.
It's not like 3 minutes, but Belichick is looking.
Is there anybody on your team that you're satisfied with?
Look, this glass half full, half empty, obvious approach, and I'm very concerned about a lot of things.
Is there anybody on your team that you're happy with?
And then you know what I read this week? Keenan Allen doesn't feel good. He re-injured his hamstring on the break.
Oh my god!
Bio, it says he might miss a couple more games, quote unquote. Are you kidding me, dude?
What is it with? I mean, it's hilarious to me because you had this with Michael. How many times do you have a play? There's just like always every year there's a haggler that's just like, I'm not playing. They haggle you. I'm not playing.
Dude, he injured it on his bye week. He says, I don't feel good. I need a little more rest. I'm done with this guy. And there's no sign of Patterson coming back. He'll come back when he's ready.
You're just going to milk it the entire season.
We got a lot of problems, Dave Harbacken. So while you yuck it up, I have a lot of issues to deal with.
I'm not look, I think that Allen is a problem, and I think that Patterson could be a problem. I think those are legitimate concerns. I think your concerns over Josh Allen with one game, I think, is an overreact. One game and a hurricane game is slightly
you know what it is? I think I'm just ticked off about Keenan Allen. That's a major issue that we have to figure.
Taking it out on the other Allen, on your other Allen brother.
Well, we're fielding offers for Keenan Allen if the rest of the league wants an injured player who's never going to play.
Why don't you do it again? Nick can go
nuts. No, we're not doing it this year.
You know, exactly.
I mean, this game, I think if Carlson had, like a normal game and just had his projection, I mean, this would have been like a 2-point game. So, and then if he puts someone in, you lose. So, I mean,
if he just puts in Hilliard,
it's a good. Yeah, if he just puts in Hilliard.
I mean, look, Hilliard before that got 0.4. I mean, so he's up and down, but at least he's a player. I mean, look, he could have put in Burkhead at least to make it.
Well, also his kicker had 0.
I know, but that happens. But I mean, like at least he's playing. You know, I mean, I don't fault the kicker, like problem, but for Elliott, come on,
yeah,
put in Burkhead and then lose like a man or put in Hilliard and win. But,
Yeah. So I think I catch another break because I play Nick and Jamie this week and Dallas is on a bye.
Ooh, oh my God. Half their team's on a bye. Oh my God.
Much, yeah.
You continue. Well, I mean, all right, let's move on to the next game, which is formerly a contender for the luckiest team in the league. I mean, I think clearly after this week, And if you're gonna go play Dallas on a bye, let's talk about he's no longer the luckiest team. And he finally actually scored this week. I mean, he gets a respectable score.
And the one week he scores over 100, he loses.
He gets reverse spidered in this one. Yes, GronkyCon wins 167.22 over Tillage Trey 131.24. And actually, I mean, this is he's also a fan of the program, obviously, because he's commented on it. He said, what did he say? Make sure to give us a like and comment. I appreciate the brown nosing. We don't care. I don't need we don't need the likes. Nobody needs to watch this. It's fine. We're doing this for our own entertainment and for, the 12 people in the league, whether or not if the people want it in the league, it's available to them, and everybody else in the world is not going to give a crap as to whether or not they get the analysis of the Center Fantasy Football League. They're going to be like, maybe there are, Zamunda Lions fans strewn about the country, but I don't know. Anyway, so yeah, I mean, Kamara has. I mean, this is, you look at where his points came from here. I mean, DeAndre Hopkins just ever since he's come back, he gets everything, and Kamara with 42.8 points. I mean, he's just been a monster of late. Chubb with 25.4, and then 25 for Jackson. Godwin got 13.5, and 10 for the kicker. But he also, I mean. It's very, GronkyCon's stat line looks not too dissimilar from what mine was. I mean, Dalton Schultz he ended up playing and getting 13.4, but, two whatevers. I don't know. But yeah.
I was talking to Gronky Kong, and he was saying he thinks he has a good team. It's just the guys never scored touchdowns before this week. So this week they finally scored touchdowns, and this is what he gets. Chubb and Kamara is it's basically two RB1s. And then you get Hopkins, he's a top receiver. Yeah. And then
Lamar.
It's not a bad team. And it's a team you kind of have to look out for going forward.
Yeah, I mean, yes, you don't want to play them. Not their record notwithstanding. I mean, no, I mean, in Lamar alone could beat you. Trust me, I know this. No, but now that Hopkins has come back and Kamara, what have Kamara's numbers been over the last? 42, 17, 18, 23. Ever since week 5, he's just been on fire. Chubb has been consistent pretty much all season except for week 6. And Hopkins, the 2 weeks he's been back, 20 and 33. It's for Tillett, Goff I think that Goff was a good play this week. Just like we'll get into the transactions, but whenever you play Miami, those quarterbacks the opposing quarterbacks tend to do well, and I think that Goff certainly.
Yeah, every game in Detroit tends to be a shootout. Like, that turf is quick, and it just every game there is
yeah. Scoring. And then Amari Cooper gets 22, 18 for Judy, 12 for Mixon, 14 for Fournette. He got 12 for Goddard and 10 for Carter and 11 for his kicker and 9 for his basically just a solid game all around.
Yeah.
Which is why I'm so happy to see him lose. He's been beating everybody. Like here's a little taste of your own medicine. This is what it's just, I feel karmically it's satisfying. I don't know what to say there.
Yeah. Well, he's proven that he has to score. The less he scores, the more he wins.
Exactly. He needs to play defensive fantasy football, as we used to call it. No, look, with the 6-2 record. So here's the thing that the rest of the league has to be concerned about. With a 6-2 record, okay, he's gonna make the playoffs, and if he could start putting together scores like this, people are not going to necessarily score 167 come playoff time. So if he could we've been laughing about how low his scores are, but if he could actually have, high scores going into the playoff, because he's gonna be there. I mean, there's just
I actually want him there more than Gronky Kong because I fear Gronky Kong's team way more than Tillett's team. Like if the playoffs started now, I'd much rather play Tillett. Just with the roster.
I mean, yeah, in theory, I mean, yes.
I'm not talking about point totals. I'm just talking about just who their personnel.
Right. No, I know. I don't know. I agree with you on paper. I just fear teams that have that. I don't know. I'm gun shy after losing to the Hagglers. I just fear teams that have that je ne sais quoi.
You think he's just like destined to be in the finals or win this
Oh,
year?
I'm not ready to say that yet, but I fear teams that have things that are going for them. And I don't know if we're there yet. I mean, like, I think that kind of stuff, it's in the home stretch. I mean, like, maybe he peaked too early. I don't know. Like, because we're right at the halfway point right now. We're just passing the halfway point. So I think it's
a long way to go.
Right. So it's too early to assess those kinds of things. But I mean, as far as the setting himself up within the first half of the season, I mean, absolutely. Like, so yeah. I don't know, but he's gonna be there, or he's gonna be in the playoffs. Certainly, unless there's just an epic collapse, and I just don't see that happening. And so he really, at this point, can build. I mean, if he's smart, what he would be doing is building. I mean, making sure that he could kind of win the winnable games, but building a roster that has really good matchups. In those last few playoff weeks and everything else, and with some of the unnecessary, like trimming the fat. If he goes and gets players that have good matchups in weeks, whatever. What is it? 16 and 17, that maybe maybe I don't know if he's streaming defenses. I haven't really paid attention to whether or not he is. Maybe go store the defense that you think is going to be best in week 16, because he has. I mean, that's part of the luxuries that you could have by having this big a lead. The finest can do the same. If you have it, the thing is, if you have any room on your team, like obviously if there's strong bench players that you don't want to get rid of, then no, I mean, don't do that. But I mean, if you
have you looked at Philly's schedule? They have I think the easiest.
Oh my God. I was actually,
it's unbelievable how easy their schedule is.
I know. I was talking to Audwin before we went on, and yeah, because we were just talking about how like Philly sports in general, like it's a good time to be a Philadelphia sports fan, which I am not, but like, I mean, between the Eagles, the Phillies, Philadelphia FC, if you watch the MLS, I mean, they are having a moment there in Philadelphia sports. But yeah, I don't see. I mean, they could almost, for the regular. I mean, who's really even left for them?
I mean, the only tough game they have is the Cowboys on Christmas.
Yeah, they already beat the Cowboys. I mean, maybe the Giants, but I don't think so. Tennessee, I don't know. I mean, if I have to make
Houston on Thursday, then they play the Commanders, then they play the Colts, then they play the Packers, then the Titans, then the Giants, then the Bears, then the Cowboys, and then the Saints.
I know.
That's their remaining schedule.
I know. It's ridiculously easy. I do think. I mean, if I was the parlay type of guy who wanted to put money on something in advance, I would put some money on the NFC Championship game being the Niners versus the Eagles, and a Super Bowl. I still think the Bills are going to make the Super Bowl. I'm not sure where they're going to play in the NFC Championship game, and I'm not sure who would win. Niners Eagles.
Are you counting out Jerk?
Yes.
Kirk Cousins.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the Vikings record is totally inflated. They're not that good.
Do you think it's more inflated than the Eagles?
Um,
Do you think that? Well, do you think that the Eagles are legit, like? Do you think it's more a product of their schedule, or do you think it's more a product of them being good?
I think they're good. I think they're like 6-1 or 5-2 good. I don't think they're 7-0 good. That's what I'm saying. But yeah.
I think actually, if you want to go, if you want to make a lot of money, go whoever wins the NFC South, have them in the Super Bowl. That'll if they make it, if an NFC
Yeah,
South,
that's throwing your money in the toilet. That's like George Costanza at a car dealer at a car dealer.
Brady. He's going to another Super Bowl. Give it to Brady. He's divorced now. The divorce went through. He's making it. I'm telling you right now.
I'm curious how much that bet makes that now. That
Of course you are. I pique the interest of the addicted gambler in our league. The one who controls all of our money, by the way. Brilliant.
Oh, he'll make it back. Don't.
Oh, don't worry. Yeah. What's going on, Manny? Why are your kneecaps broken? Oh, nothing.
You'll have to ask MGM Grand.
All right. Well, this is easy to go through our order of games because we know who goes last always. So now we go to this game. Scotty doesn't know. Beating Clever Name Pending. Derek Carr did not, by the way. I thought the karmically and ironically Derek Carr would be the winner, but he did not. So I mean, finally a decent performance from Scotty doesn't know. 29.4 for Prescott, 15 for Jefferson, 14.3 for Swift, 12.9 for Kittle, 19.7 for Jones. Is Connor coming back? Is that why was not doing as well, or just I don't know.
Who knows?
I don't know. I also did not watch the Jacksonville game, so I don't know what was going on there. Yeah, I mean, but I mean, still not like a great score for Scotty doesn't know. I mean, this is an average score of what this is kind of the baseline of what teams should be shooting for, which is about 120s to 130s. And Clever Name Pending just didn't even come close to that. I mean, just other than DJ Moore getting 27.5 in that game that went to overtime, and really getting it on that that last play. I mean, most of it was on that Hail Mary. And yeah, 25 for Cook, and then Koo, who also got the points. It was all that Atlanta game. Other than that, I mean, what a pathetic performance this is by Clever Name Pending. Ouch. And just a normal, decent, average game for Scotty doesn't know. But as but this is what I say. I mean, he's Rasputin. He's Rasputin in every sport. Don't count him out. Just the kind of stuff you need. I mean, Lockett ended up getting 15 on his bench, and Gibson with 20 points on his bench. I mean, he traded for this guy, didn't he? I mean, Robinson finally. Well, I don't know. I don't know. What's going on with the Washington running backs? Anybody watch those games? I don't know.
They don't really run it anymore. They kind of just, I don't know.
Yeah, Heineke, just chucked it to McLaurin now.
Which is good for one of the people on this broadcast. Actually, two, because I picked up Heineke.
Yes, nice move.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I don't know. I never look until he's actually look. Just because he's been stabbed doesn't mean that he's been poisoned. It doesn't mean that he's been shot. I mean, like the Whalers is not gone until he's actually eliminated. So and you could
those things. Yeah, you have to stab him, shoot him. If you don't do this one, he's gonna stick around.
Exactly. And he's not that far off. I mean, like, we'll look at the playoff situation, but he's still not out of it. I mean, we're halfway through. Obviously, the record's not great, but 3-5. He's only 2 games away from 500. And now he's tied with Clever Name Pending, and he's tied with a bunch of other teams. So we'll start to analyze that later. But an important win for Scotty doesn't know. I mean, like if he doesn't get this, that would have been a stabbing. That would have been, closer. But they missed the stabbing attempt. So there he is. He's still around.
You just have to push his record into the area of Scotty doesn't care. That's when you find out he's done. But as long as he still cares, he's dangerous.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So yeah.
He still comments on every transaction or every trade in the group chat. He's very active.
Oh yeah, Scotty does care.
Mm-hmm. He does.
Yeah. All right. So that leaves us with the fans game. I mean, this was the early contender, pretty much the contender almost all the week for the highest score in the game until GronkyCon came out of nowhere to take that from him. But yeah, 165.5. I mean, he was at one point he was on pace to get like 190 or something.
Yeah.
McPherson, your buddy detracted some points from him there.
Yeah, he's no longer my buddy.
So what happened? I'm just curious. So one PAT missed, one field goal miss. Whew, what a brutal game. Did he make anything?
Yeah, just one field goal from 40.
Wow, -3 for the kicker. Ouch. But other than that, yeah, Hurts with 36.4. So he did play. I think we were talking about this last week. He did play both Browns, which was the right move. 39.6 for AJ Brown, and then St. Brown gets 13.9. Barkley with 15.2, and Etienne 25.2. Pitts finally came on in this game with 19 and 12 for Walker. I saw Walker. He had a really good run in that. I think I turned on the game when Walker just got a really nice run for a touchdown. So, yeah, I mean, just really solid performance from the fan there, like pretty much up and down other than the kicker. I mean, double digits for everybody except for the kicker and the defense. So, and some really
good. Had a pretty good week too. I mean, Tua was excellent. Diggs was good as always.
Yeah, I mean, Tua matched Hurts pretty much. Yeah. Pittman, I mean, just slightly below. I mean, both of those two, so Pittman slightly below St. Brown. Diggs, I mean, really, it was Brown having the better point total over Diggs that made a huge difference. I mean, Barkley also. I mean, Montgomery with only 8.5. Pierre. I mean, it was so he was just. I mean, Dave Secretcrest was just a level, but like all across the board. It's like, like you just look over and it's like, all right, he did well. Like Pierce did well, 14.10, but then it's another and an extra 10 points for Etienne, and then
this was very similar to my game with Gaza last week. I feel because I had Burrow to Boyd getting basically the same point totals as Hurts to Brown.
Mm-hmm.
And then he had a very similar point total to Lightning Rods where he was good, but just it didn't match.
Yeah, it was just a little level better. I mean, basically, Dave Secretcrush won at every position except for the flex, where ironically Melvin Gordon outscored Kenneth Walker. This season, this league. I mean, I just don't get it, but. Yeah, so I mean, and then and the kicker, obviously. But yeah, I mean, just a solid win. He needed this because he was so. I mean, so the Lightning Rods have now lost 3 in a row. Dave Secretcrush earlier had lost 3 in a row, so or now he lost 3 in a row. I mean, this would have just. I mean, this was the losing streak game basically, and Eugene reversed it. I think. Yeah. If I'm wrong, I'm sure I'm going to be corrected immediately, and then we're going to get a D- on our grade if I got his record wrong. But is this his? In fact, I'm going to check that. I can't.
He was on a 3-game losing streak.
I can't mess with the fan. I can't. I need to be accurate on that. Everybody else, I could be inaccurate, but I want to be completely accurate on this. Let's see. So Dave's secret win 1. Okay, so he was in a losing streak. I am accurate. I am correct. Good. I don't have to write a 500-page essay or 500-word essay.
I don't have an answer for that. Is there
Doesn't
something?
he have an
I'm not asking you anything.
We don't have an answer for Eugene.
Doesn't he have an important trial to attend to?
No, he settled it.
Oh, he settled it. Okay.
He settled it.
So he can worry about.
Oh, now he's going to focus on.
He's
going to focus on us. He did win his hockey game. He did win an overtime hockey game. So in the quarterfinals. So he's still alive in that slightly. Games. The next 2 games are tonight, given when this is airing. So yeah, I mean, if he gets eliminated from that, which we'll see, then he'll have nothing to focus on but this. No trials, no whatever. So yeah. All right. Well, yeah, good win for him there.
Yep.
And that does it for last week's games. I guess time for us to head into our break. On the other side of the break, there's a lot of transactions to go over. We can go over the standings as we have now reached the midway point of the season. So take a break. Be right back after this. Welcome back. Time to go over the transactions here. Why do I always lose this screen? It's somewhere. Tell us about your day. Tell us about while we're waiting for me to find this window. I don't know why I can't. Yeah, I don't know where it is. Hello, Zoom. Where's the thing? It's such a great operation that we have going here. There it is. Okay, great. Now, here we go. So we'll go over the transactions. So the free agent bids so there's actually a lot in this. So first of all, you have Marquise Goodwin going for $41 to the Hagglers.
I didn't even play him. I threw him right in the garbage can.
Wait, I'm sorry. That was last week. I'm sorry. We didn't have that many. What am I looking at? See, I'm sorry. I apologize for our downgraded grade that we're going to get from Eugene now because of my
field sweepstakes this week.
Yeah, so Kansas City got 5. So yeah, so November 2nd is the date. So Tillett Trey awarded the Kansas City defense over Gronky Conlon's bid of $0. Josh Palmer, why is he making a reappearance? With a $4 bid out.
Well, of course, because of hamstring man.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, obvious. Because of Josh Allen. So outbidding Gronky Kong for $3. And then wow, look at this, the Justin Fields sweepstakes. We were making fun of Nick for holding on to Justin Fields. And now how many bids is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, including 2/3 of this broadcast tandem. So Gronky Kong bid $4. Laugher. I mean, come on. The finest, you bid 10. I bid 11. What happened? I thought you said you never bid the zeros. Did you literally say you never bid the zeros?
I literally didn't think people would bid that much for Fields. I thought it would be, I thought $5 would win him. What? But yeah, I did say that.
And then Tillett outbids me because and then of course Scotty does care, ends up getting $17. Yeah, I mean, so first of all, why were you going for Fields? I'm just curious.
Me? Mm-hmm. Well, I need a quarterback for the Burrow bye week.
Is that this week?
It's next week.
Okay, interesting.
But I thought all the quarterbacks would be taken by then, or all the decent ones. So I was kind of planning a week ahead.
Interesting, because the reason why I went for Fields is because for the bye week as well, but my bye week is this week, and he's playing Miami, which I'd kind of mentioned that, teams against Miami their quarterbacks against Miami tend to do well, and that's who he's playing this week. So and he's had some really good games of late, so I think that's why he was.
Well, I was thinking of going after Heineke, but his like on Burrow's bye week, I think Heineke had a tougher matchup.
Yeah, I think
Thursday night against the Eagles, I think. Or Monday night against the Eagles.
The Redskins? Come on.
Yeah.
Who wants to see them in prime time? Nobody.
I don't consider Thursday night football prime time.
Yeah, no, it's actually Monday night.
That's even worse.
Yeah.
Well, because I mean, the reason why I went for Fields was because he was playing. This is Garoppolo's bye week. He's playing Miami. I think he's gonna have a good game. He's been on a hot streak. And I went for Heineke because he's got the matchup against Minnesota this week. I think he'll do well. For this week when I need him, and that's why after I didn't get Fields, that's why I picked him up. So there were other so he also picked up Chase Claypool for $10. Nobody even tried to get him, so that was $10.
Looking at him, it's just that offense is just so crappy.
I've had Claypool. He's good for like 10. It's whatever. That's not what I meant to do. Is that I don't okay. So just go here. So what else? What other transactions happened? So you had Chase Claypool going for 10, Kenyon Drake going for $6 to Gronky Kong. Ooh, the big man on campus a week or two ago. Kenyon Drake now reduced. He's just collecting paychecks from everybody in this
league. I'm finest.
Yeah. And then he got slightly more from the finest.
Yeah, but now it's buying a junk bond now. The stock has dropped slightly.
Yeah.
And then as far as actual transactions, I don't know what. Vikings, why'd you pick up the Vikings? Oh, because Dallas is on a bye this week. You needed a defense.
Yep.
Wow. So you're gonna have opposite rooting interest because you have McLaurin going in that game, but you're gonna have the Minnesota defense. So it's gonna be a tough game.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Jake Elliott picked up by the Hagglers. My favorite kicker. So you've taken my mortal enemy in this league. He won you a championship, even though he was on my team, and now you take him.
Well, we needed a kicker, so don't worry, he'll be in the garbage.
Juwan Johnson. He had a shitty game last week. You played the right tight end. I mean, Gesicki is pretty good. You have like 4 tight ends on your bench.
The trading block, and Miami didn't pull the trigger. They obviously want him gone.
And you went and picked up Jeff Wilson. I'm assuming that was that today.
So you're playing Tyler Conklin.
Yeah.
Wait, did you pick up Jeff Wilson post trade announcement?
That's a good pick up. I was looking at him.
He's just one mustard. He's one condiment away from being the only running back.
Yes, he is one condiment away.
Mm-hmm.
What else? Anything of note here? I don't really.
I mean, I looked at free agency. It is a barren wasteland.
I know. I just don't. Ronnie Rivers? Who's this?
Ronnie Rivers.
He's the backup to the Rams. Henderson. Actually,
Henderson is getting benched.
Not benched, but he's getting no carries.
Yeah.
I mean, didn't they?
Well, he's getting benched on my team. He's already on my bench.
There was something about. There was something about Cam Akers talking again or something. I don't know. Whatever.
There's a guy that Whalers picked up.
Deion Jackson?
No.
Who is this? What is going on? I
Kyron Williams or something.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, the Rams running back situation is in complete shambles.
So he's still, well, yes, it is obviously, but so he's. I mean, he's already had Cam Akers. He had Darrell Henderson. I mean, really, how much are you gonna invest in this Rams backfield? Come on. And the Rams are terrible this year on top of like no. Anyway, Deion Jackson, why is this guy getting picked up? He had 0.3 2 weeks ago, and last week he got negative 0.4. That seems like a great pickup. Why did that? What am I missing here? What does Scotty know that I don't? What does Scotty know that David doesn't know? He's picking up Deion Jackson.
Well, now that Taylor's back, he's useless.
Okay.
Does he think that Taylor is going to get
Is it because Naeem Hines was traded away and he thinks this is. I mean, Taylor's not even doing anything anyway.
I mean, he's reaching.
Okay. I don't know. I mean, it doesn't matter. He's at the point of the week where I'm sure he doesn't have a defense. He's probably got 20 people on the bench anyway. He'll just drop them by the end of the week, whatever. Nick and Jamie pick up Caleb Huntley. I mean, like as long as Patterson keeps futzing around, I mean, you know, he had a couple carries in that game I saw that were not bad. Duvernay picked up by clever name pending, and he finally drops Derek Carr. Yeah, that's it. So that's it for that. I mean, nothing else of it. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. All right, let's take a look at the standings. So obviously, there's only 1-7-1 team sitting well atop of the league right now.
Yep.
And by the way, so you're 7-1. There's only one 7-1 team, only 6-2 team, by the way. And the 6-2 team has way less points than the 7-1 teams. So, like you said, it's like it's pretty much like a
lead. Yeah, pretty much.
As far as the 5-3 teams, that's where you get less of a cushion because the Hagglers have 150 or 1,053 points and 1,048.7. Nick and Jamie, the lowest of the 5-3 teams. But yeah, the Hagglers sitting reasonably well, especially after that win at 5-3. Lightning Rods dropped to sixth place, 4-4. They have a 4-point lead over the 1603ers in that 4-4 bracket, which is the bracket that might be. I mean, we'll see how things go, but whatever. Right now is the bubble bracket, and then the 3 and 5s. So Rocky Kong leads that. Scotty doesn't know at the bottom of that, so I mean he's gonna have to put together some wins. Clever name pending even above. Scotty doesn't know at this point. Ouch. And then just Zamunda at 1-7.
Look. Here's their problem right now. So you got Spiderweb webbed up and cocooned all of his wins early, right? So he's set for the winner. Okay, he's probably going to make it. I mean, Manny's just he's just so 1 and 2 theoretically are going to be very difficult to get your hands on. All right, and then you look at the 5-3s. The problem with the 3 and 5s is not the record; it's the point totals. Like, so even if they tied up, like you're in a really good spot right now with 990, but a lot of those guys down there, I mean, Gronky Khan's 927. Scotty doesn't know 838 is going to have to make up possibly 100 points on a lot of those middle bracket teams, and that's where it's going to be tough for him.
Yeah, I mean, well, so first of all, how many games do we have left now? That we have 8 games played, which means that we have 6 games left, right?
6 games left. Okay.
So that means that for the 3 and 5s, the maximum if they win out is 9 and 5. So, I mean, first they're not catching Hackettstown's finest. I mean, you need 2 more. I mean, even Tilla Trey, he needs 3 more wins out of he needs to go 500 the rest of the season.
How many wins do you need to really legitimately clinch a bye?
To clinch a bye?
11, 10?
That I don't know because you still have the 5-3s and the 5-3 teams. I mean, the Hagglers and the Crush both have pretty high point totals.
Yeah.
So I mean to clinch a bye, I mean for and like I think Tillett is not. I mean if I was a betting man, Tillett is not going to get the bye. He's just not. Um, I mean because he has to keep. I mean if he loses this week, he's already he's. I mean if he loses this week, he could drop all the way down to fifth. Now granted,
Right.
I mean depending on how I mean we'll look at the games, but he's on very shaky ground there because I mean, his point totals are lower than clever name pending.
Right.
I mean, you have to go down all the way to 10th to find a lower point total than Tillett Trey.
That's crazy.
Scotty doesn't know is the border below. Like if he, you know. So I mean, he has to keep winning.
Yeah.
So to clinch a bye for him, it's going to be difficult.
Yeah, he needs probably 11 wins at least.
For a bye, yeah. I mean, like I said, he's going to make the playoffs, but I think the bye is a tough task for him.
Mm-hmm.
And then, and the 3 and 5 teams, these games are hugely important. I mean, they have to keep winning because with only 6 games left, first of all, you need 2 just to get, 2 of the 6 just to get back to 500.
Right. But 7 and 5 should make it. No, wait, no.
I don't even think the math on that is right. So
no, so there are 14 weeks in the regular season.
Yeah.
So yeah, so I mean 8 and 6, that should make it.
8 and 6 will probably make it.
7 and 7, it depends on the matchups and the point totals and all that.
Yeah, I mean, it's possible that a 7 and 7 team can sneak in there, but no lower than that.
Yeah.
Which means, and I think realistically, probably 8. You probably need 8 wins. And if there's only 6 games left,
those 3 and 5 teams need to go 5 and 1.
Yeah.
So
I mean, Zamunda has to win out, and they still won't. I mean, so if Zamunda won out,
they'll be 7 and 7.
They'll be 6 and 7.
6 and 7.
Is that right? No,
7 and 7.
7 and 7. Excuse me. They will be 7 and 7 if they were to win out. Wakanda would be 8 and 6 if they won out. I mean, those teams are really pushing the limits of what can be.
Well, Zamunda, it's definitely a must-win game. There's no chance that.
Oh yeah, if they don't win this, then it's $5 a game time, and Wakanda's pretty close to that too. I mean, and for the 3 and 5s, they're not there yet, but these are really important games that are coming up because every loss is just magnified because there's just not that many games. There's just not enough.
Yeah.
To come back. I mean, if you go 3 and 6 after this week, then that leaves you with 5 games left. Pretty much have to win them all after that, and get the point totals. So these are, which they don't have.
So you can't be winning games like Tillett 80 to 60 and then expect to make it.
So with that in mind, let's take a look at this week's game. So where shall we go?
I guess we could start with my game.
Okay. So this is
interesting.
So if you want to secure the bye, this is a good opportunity to do so. You lose here, then Nick and Jamie are right on your tail. At 6 and 3, and you would be 7 and 2. So this is a really important game for both of these teams. But if they were to lose, then they're 5 and 4, and then this. I mean, this is pretty much their opportunity. If they want to make a run at first place, I still think that they have a good chance for the playoffs. But if they want to make a run at any kind of, certainly first place, but at a bye,
Yeah, he actually set his lineup surprisingly. So
Wow. I mean, Burkhead, but if you consider Burkhead setting your lineup, but sure.
Yeah, I mean, I just have really good matchups this week because Dallas is
half his team is
bye.
I mean, he's the Cowboys and Cardinals, so
yeah, and I like Burrow and Boyd against Carolina. I think that could be a high scoring game again. And then Davis against the Jets. I mean, Davis is very hit or miss. Allen definitely prefers Diggs, but I mean, yeah, it's a decent matchup, I guess. Sanders against Houston. I mean, Houston, they just can't stop the run. So I'm expecting.
Yeah, but he's got Burkhead going against you in that same game. Wow, you both got to watch the Thursday game.
Yeah, but I prefer my guy than his guy on Thursday night.
I prefer to not even be involved in that game, but sure. Are you still sitting a Williams again? As we just had this conversation?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I'm probably gonna plug him in because Green Bay can't really stop the run. So I'll put him in for Juju.
I mean, look, he could get some points from T. Higgins, maybe. You have Boyd anyway, so you can get twofers there. I mean, Burkhead and Huntley. I mean, at least they're conscious, like they're in the game. They have a chance to get. He's playing Drake London. What has Drake London done? I mean, I've heard his name a bunch of times, but not like in the scoring column. Okay, so he's done nothing. Come on. I mean, hey, half his team is Dallas. He doesn't have them playing. I don't even know why we're analyzing further than that. I mean, it's just,
yeah. Half his team is on bye.
This is a bad week for him to be going. This was going to be a bad week for him, regardless. But
right, yeah. So I mean, it's just again, I'm lucky with matchups. I'm lucky with buys. So
as usual,
I'm pleased with the matchup. I don't like that Q next to Derrick Henry's name. That's for sure. I don't know what the hell that is.
I mean, well,
it's probably just precautionary.
It was a foot, and he's and from what I saw, it was fine.
Yeah, he's fine.
Foot was limited in Wednesday's practice. It's a new injury for Henry, and it's at least notable after Henry missed half the season with a broken foot, but we haven't seen anything to cause concern.
Okay, so he'll play.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Although if he doesn't, then somebody has Hilliard. That's the only thing that this could turn on. Is
he probably won't even start him.
Exactly. That's the most hilarious part. Henry could actually be, benched and out, and he could have the replacement and put in Hilliard, and he won't. And that's the ironic thing.
I'll just put Jamal Williams in there, and I probably still have the edge.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. I mean, because look, his team has been Lamb and Pollard or Elliott, usually Pollard. So yeah. I mean,
yeah.
This is obviously. I mean, this is so far a contender for lock of the week for me. But definitely, I'm picking the finest.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I got to go with myself this week. It's a good matchup.
And Keys.
Yeah, I mean, come on, Nick and Jamie. I mean, with the whole entire Dallas team out, that's literally half of their lineup. I go with Manny, obviously.
Right. All right.
Obviously.
All right. Let's move on to the next game, which I don't know. Where shall we go?
Let's go to your game.
All right. As I mentioned, so I'm due for a loss because I'm going to the game this week, but I am going to the game with Bowtie. So hopefully some of the bad luck will rub off on him. Do I even have anything to watch in the game that we're going into, the horrific Seattle versus Cardinals game that we're going to see? Do we either of us have any players in that game? No.
Doesn't look like it.
Yes. So we're both going to be watching a game that we have no investment in whatsoever. I mean,
you'll be on your phone during the game checking the scores more than watching the actual game.
Yeah, except for the fact that you usually get that's the thing, you get terrible reception in the stadium. Although it's the
because
Cardinals.
Everyone's on their phone checking the fantasy scores and stuff, so there's so much like traffic.
I mean, the good news is there probably won't be anybody at the stadium because it's the Cardinals versus the Seabags, but whatever.
I
But
also
he
think
is.
they're only 2 4 o'clock games or late afternoon
Yeah,
games.
we have my whole schedule also is going, I believe, during that games. So
Okay.
basically, we're gonna just turn on our phones afterwards and find out who won and who lost. Um, he is at least a Seattle, a Seahawks fan, so he has something to root for. I really have nothing, but I'm just checking out the stadium where the Super Bowl will be played. So he's actually favored 120.8 to 107.13. He's a 61% favorite. Why is that? So he's got Mahomes going versus Tennessee. And then we've have, Heineke going versus Minnesota. Cup is still technically questionable, but I'm assuming that he's going to be fine. He's got DJ Moore at Cincinnati. He's playing Robinson at Tampa Bay. We've got Jacoby Myers versus Indianapolis. We're also missing CMC, on a bye week, so we're playing Foreman. Harris makes me vaguely nervous. I will see. And then he's got a questionable tag here too. I don't know if Harris is going to remain. Why is he? Illness did not practice. Okay, whatever. And he's taking it back. Yeah, I mean, what I might actually do is I might. Here's the problem. I think I might actually play Mooney in the flex and move Herbert up to the RB1. It's not going to make any difference in the. Let's see. Does it make any difference in the projection? Let's do this now so we can see, so we can get an accurate assessment of what this team is going to look like, because I don't think so. Yeah. So because the problem is that Herbert's projection is not actually. I mean, it's not. I mean, because he's the backup, so he never gets like a higher projection. So I think it literally does not change the projection whatsoever. It gives us 2 extra points. Okay. That's it. So now he's rather than 61 to 30, 59 to 41. Wow, we feel so much better. But not that matters. We still have the Andrews question that's going on. I mean, fortunately, it'll be a Monday night game time. If it's a Monday night game time decision, we still have likely to play, so I'm not concerned there. And everybody else on my team is on a bye. So, and everybody on his team is either on a bye or non-existent. He's got 2 empty bench spots. So, okay. Yeah, he's got Dalvin in that Washington game. Hayden Hurst, what has he been doing lately? And then Duvernay on Monday night. So that Baltimore game. So this could come down to that Monday night game, theoretically. I don't know about my kicker. I feel good about the New England defense. I don't know. I mean, I never pick myself, so I'm not going to pick myself now. And especially knowing that I'm going to be at the game, I'm certainly going to pick Clever Name Pending. But it's the last game that I'm attending this year, I believe. So this should be hopefully my last loss. though I will be. I'm just trying to think of the schedule now that I actually think about this, because I'm going to be gone for a large portion of the remaining of November. So I think we'll have at least one more podcast next week because I will be in town. But then after that, it'll have to be we could do a Thursday broadcast after that, because I'll come back extraordinarily jet lagged. We might be able to do one that week, and then I don't think we're going to be able to do one the Thanksgiving week. Although I did one from foreign countries. We could do one from foreign countries. Why not?
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll see how much I like you guys.
Okay.
Anyway, hopefully, because this will be the last game that we're attending, this should be the last loss that we get. But it'll be a loss for us. Yeah.
I like his matchups better. I like, Mahomes. He definitely has the quarterback edge. I think you have the slight edge in receiver, although DJ Moore is better now that Baker is not there anymore. I think he has the running back edge for sure. And the rest is kind of a wash, I guess. So I think he has the slight edge. I really think the quarterback and the running backs just slightly outweigh yours. So this week. So I'm going to go with him. That's my pick.
Okay. And Geese is What is he taking a shit right now? He can come back and tell us what he thinks.
He makes fun of me for falling asleep on the podcast. I mean, this might be worse. He's not even in the picture.
I know. I didn't even see him disappear. There he's back.
Hey, John, I'm here.
Right. So, quick pick.
Quick pick over this. Oh, Dave Harbacken.
So complete opposite. He's just picking me no matter what. What? Any reason why?
Yeah, I mean, you showed me the picture of your core nucleus there between Foreman, Myers, and Cup. Dave Harbacken. That's it.
Dave Harbacken.
Well, you're not confident in them, just like I'm critical of my team.
I mean, we don't have CMC this week.
I
don't know
think
what's
if they
going
were
on
on your team, you would be very worried.
I look.
You're worried about Josh Allen. I would be worried about Jacoby Myers then.
I'm not worried about Jacoby Myers. All right. You want my actual? So, Allen Robinson doesn't scare me. Hurst doesn't scare me. I don't know about Duvernay. It doesn't really. And the parts of my team that worry me. Look, I feel confident in Herbert. He's done really well, but he remains the back. I mean, he got 15 the last 2 weeks, but if they don't go to him, that could be a bad week. And I'm relying on 2 Bears this week, mind you. And I have Mooney in there. So that concerns me. And then I don't know what's happening with the Andrews situation. I mean, what if I find myself in the same exact, situation as we did last time, where he plays and then, suddenly falter, I don't know. So that concerns me more than anything else. But other than that, I feel reasonably good about this lineup. But, I never.
You could play Likely in the flex instead of Mooney, and then just if Andrews, and then we'll have Andrews in the flex and then Likely in the tight end slot.
Yeah, but then what happens if Andrews doesn't go? No, that would totally screw me because then Monday night comes around and I have nothing and he's got Duvernay go. Like, no, that would be horrifically stupid. Then I'd almost guarantee myself a dud. No. And Mooney, look, he's done fine in the last few weeks. I mean, well, he didn't do, but whatever. 12, 13 with an 8 and a 7.
Yeah, you just have to hope that Andrews plays.
Or I have to hope that either Andrews plays or is benched early, and then I can put in like one of the two.
Right. Yeah, you have the backup tight end, so
yeah. So whatever. And good. Mooney's playing Miami. I think he'll have a good game there. So I'm not, whatever. We'll see. But yeah, I never pick myself, so you can't judge anything off of that. All right, let's move on to the next game. We could do the Hagglers game now if you want against your rival. This is another big game here.
It's a big game.
Unless you have to go take a shit. Are you okay? Are you going to stick around for this?
Against the Lightning Rods is I don't even think he knows it's a rivalry, but it's a rivalry for me.
No, he knows. I mean, he knows. I mean, because we had him on. We interviewed him that time. And you informed him. I don't know if he remembers, but he's.
I don't know if he remembers at this point.
Right.
But
but who's your bigger rival, him or Gronky Kong?
It's up there. It's getting up there. Gronky Kong's really, getting up there as far as rivalries go. I'm not gonna lie to you. He's a man. He has to be beaten down. But this one, he's got some interesting. So he's got Diggs to take away Allen points, and he's got Tua to take away Hill points. So he's already a very crafty guy going with the cross matchups here, and he's got a great running back. And Hawkinson got traded to Minnesota. That could produce some points for him. Montgomery, Miami can't stop anything. His defense and his flex. So let's see what he's got on tap for. Michael Thomas is in the same boat as Keenan Allen. Sometime this season he'll be back. But you know what? The hell with that guy. I'm not really afraid of Elijah Moore. He's basically getting up to that. Tony has done it again. He hasn't done anything this season, actually. So the flex could be an issue, and defense. I looked at the defensive matchups this week. They're not that great. Now moving on to this train wreck. So I planned on having 2 key players back, but that's not going to happen now that Allen and Patterson are taking their time. And we're going to have to roll with Singletary, but with Hines there, what is Singletary's role going to be? That's That's very interesting for him. He could be the guy out. And I had to pick up Conklin from the Jets, ironically, who he dropped last week, who got 25 points. I think the Bills are going to maul the Jets, and Zach Wilson is just going to have to dump it off to the tight end because that's all he's going to have time to do, I hope. And I pick up Dave's kicker, Dave's nemesis at kicker, and the Minnesota defense with McLaurin on offense. That could be a problem. I didn't even look at that. But they were the best defense available. I mean, there's not much out there as far as defenses go. So, yeah.
So I mean, looking at this, I do think that the Singletary thing could be a problem. Look, I think McLaurin will have a good game. Olave and Tyreek Hill. I mean, yeah, everybody's going to take away points. I don't know. Pittman still had a good game, but he's playing New England this week, so I don't think that that's the best matchup. Pierce though is good, and Montgomery's good, and Hawkinson. Jeez, it really depends. I mean, it's hard to assess at this point because he's already so they're putting him 29 points below you in terms of the projections, and that's two players right there. You know that although one of them being a defense. I mean, it depends on who he picks up. He has the potential to win this game. I mean, I think that the projection is way off in terms of 72%. I mean, that's with two non-players right there. So I think that that's a little inflated. Yeah, it really depends on who he goes with to fill in those slots. But there's not much out there. So
free agency is a barren wasteland right now.
He's gonna have to find that diamond in the rough. If he can, I think that he could certainly compete in this game very well.
And the fact that he has Tua throwing to Tyreek, I mean,
and the fact that he has Diggs, who Allen will be throwing to. I mean, like,
right?
You know,
kind of counteract each other in multiple.
And the Singletary problem. I mean,
but Tua still loves himself some Waddle. I mean, even though Hill is their number one receiver, Waddle still gets a ton of carry, a ton of targets. So I think way more than like
Singletary was your problem this week. I was just gonna plug and play Patterson, but this season is just ridiculous with these injuries.
It is.
I mean, he's eligible to come back in week 9. He's fully rested from his knee issues. He wasn't even out. He played the game against, I think it was the Browns. He played in the game. Okay. They just decided, let's rest you up a little bit. He's back. He's ready to go. And he's not ready to go. It's just disgusting. I just, every season, the Hagglers have a guy. This time we have two guys. And then, this was, what was it? It was Kirk and Andrews, which I handed you a championship with basically last season because I was tired of poor performances and whatever. And later on in the season, they blow it up. So how long am I supposed to keep these two idiots?
Yeah.
I'll give them away. I'll trade them. I'll get rid of them just for somebody. And then they'll both come back and blow it up.
So are you thinking of putting Keenan Allen in there for Olave? And then if he doesn't go, you could just plug Olave in because he's going Monday night? Is that what you're kind of thinking of doing?
Michael Thomas, the food fighter, is out indefinitely, and apparently still injury. It doesn't matter. He's staying in there. I mean, it's just a mess. I'm hamstrung this week because I got to get a kicker in it. But then once that opens up, I can start looking for other players because I can kick out Elliott and this Minnesota trash defense. Get him out of here.
Yeah, I mean, look.
Yeah.
I think you're very vulnerable this week.
No shit.
But
I think I'm driving to Keenan Allen's house and Patterson's house for a road trip.
I mean,
do you plan to play this season? Give me your thoughts.
You're vulnerable because of the fact that your players are throwing to, like, Allen is throwing to Diggs and Tua is throwing to Hill.
He's vulnerable because of that. He's vulnerable because, like, his defense, who's gotten him a ton of points lately, have been a problem. I think you're vulnerable because Singletary causes a problem too.
I wouldn't worry about Hawkinson. I don't think Cousins is good enough to kind of adjust to a new player right away. So I wouldn't be too worried about him. Plus, Cousins or the Minnesota's much better at home than they are on the road, and they're playing in Washington. So,
well, it's too early to play Jeff Wilson. He literally just got onto the team. I mean, how many plays can he know? You know, and then Patterson, he's still designated IR. At least designate him like questionable, like he's possibly going to play.
Actually, you should be happy that he's
yeah.
IR so that you have the extra spot.
I guess.
I don't know.
You're right. He came back. I don't even know who I would
exactly. You'd have to drop somebody.
Yeah.
Don't worry, the raccoon will be sitting there waiting. Although you could clearly drop Graham Gano. I mean, why are you holding on to him?
Yeah, 2 kickers.
I don't know. The Dallas defense I get, but Gano.
Elliott misses some extra points though.
Thanks.
Oh, trust me. Trust me, I know this. Were you in the league then or no?
I don't think so, but I mean, he's missed extra points when I've been in the league because I've looked at him.
This is before.
Well, just so you know, in the championship game when I played Geese, I had Nick Foles and Elliott going. And I needed like a minimal amount of points, and neither one could provide it. And Elliott like missed a like extra points and field goal like at the I don't even want to relive it. It's a nightmare. So anyway, I don't know. Yeah, it really just depends on who he's able to find in the trash bin. If he could find somebody good enough in the trash bin, I think you have a lot to worry about this week because of matchups, because of a lot of things. But the fact that there's crap in the trash bin gives you an edge.
Yeah, there's
and look, and he can't drop the San Francisco defense either because they're a very good defense. So
trust me, if he does, we'll just take them. Well,
I mean
they're gonna buy two, whatever.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. Yeah, but I'm just saying like there'll be plenty of teams angling for the San Francisco defense if although I don't know why. I thought they were better than they are, but still, whatever. Anyway. All right. So I will pick the Hagglers, but reluctantly.
Me too.
Well, that's good to know. Reluctantly.
All right. Oh my God. Is this all the game? Did we do? Oh my God. There's so many games left. Let's all right, Scotty doesn't know versus the Monday Lions. Didn't they play last week? I mean, my God, it feels like I'm in Groundhog Day. Really?
They played bow tie last.
Same crap. All right. Justin Fields. So I think that Justin Fields is gonna have a good game against Miami. Trevor Lawrence, he's garbage. Waddle against Chicago will do well. Jefferson at Washington, he'll be fine. Lockett, Devontae Adams. I mean, no. I mean, the new Naeem Hines, and he at least gets Eckler back against Atlanta, so Eckler will have a good game. Jones and Swift, and Swift even. Why is he questionable there?
Yeah, there goes picking up
ankle shoulder. Didn't practice Wednesday. Not great. Swift clearly isn't 100%. Does this? Have you already edited Williams in there? I mean, after looking at it,
yeah, I got to do that right
it's
now.
Like ridiculous. Anyway,
Williams is going in there right now.
I know it's a
traded, but now we're past the trade deadline. I dumped them in the garbage, and Whalers picked them up immediately.
For who?
Gaiseki.
Oh, yeah.
Immediately.
Garbage. You didn't have enough time to get stank from the tuna sandwich next to him, and immediately picked them up.
So it's a 50-50 game, and the Whalers does not have a defense right now, but he might not have an RB1 either. Looking at that report. Does he? I mean, he's got 30 different players. I mean, I guess he plays Eno again or plays Gibson. So he's got players to put in there. I mean, is Hines going to know the book yet? Like,
He better not. That's the last game for Singletary. Well, traditionally, Hines is a third down back anyway. So, I mean, it doesn't necessarily threaten Singletary all that much. But if Cook starts heating up on the team, that threatens Singletary.
Sure.
I didn't know he was the younger brother of Dalvin Cook.
I didn't either. What's the deal with Devontae Adams? Illness was limited on Wednesday.
He's sick of being on the team.
So many question marks in this game. These are such pathetic teams with such high stakes involved in this game.
Well, Swift is most likely not going to play, so
I don't know how he's going to do it, but I think Rasputin's going to win this game. I don't know how.
I saw that game against the Buffalo Bills for the Packers. Romeo Doubs, ironically, was finally starting to mature. I think Nick should take out Robinson against Buffalo. That's a horrible matchup.
I totally agree with that.
Put in Doubs.
Put in Dobbs, and then ironically, from the trade, if that's what basically
difference, that would be ironic.
That would be hilarious. Please, Nick. I know you don't watch the show, but please put in Dobbs. I mean, Kirk sucks too. Oh God. Oh. Yeah, I don't know. I mean,
and can Justin Fields keep it up? I think
he can against Miami. I don't think that's where the problem is going to be. I think the problem is going to be with Swift and Kirk.
Right.
I mean, but isn't Aaron Rodgers even playing? Put in Dobbs, Nick. I think if Nick puts in Dobbs, maybe he wins. Although, I think Eckler's gonna have a good game against Atlanta, though, and I just think Swift is not gonna play. And then does he play Eno or Gibson? Such a tough game. But I remain with my position that he is Rasputin and he's not ready to be shot to death yet. I don't know why. I think Nick is not going to play Dobbs, ironically, because he always does the boneheaded thing. And I think that Scotty doesn't know, ekes out a win in this.
Well, if Nick loses, he's out.
I know.
I'll tell you, he's at the brink.
Yeah.
So he should just take our advice and just do it.
He should. But because he's so out, because he doesn't care. He certainly doesn't watch this show. And I don't know. Trevor Lawrence might actually have a good game against, the Raiders.
Yeah, I mean, I actually have to go Nick here because I think Eckler is going to have a huge game, and I think Waddle will do pretty well. I think Adams might have a bounce back game if he plays, and I think the chances that Adams play is higher than Swift. So I'd have to give the slight edge right now to Zamunda.
Well, the problem is Lawrence gives Whalers some leverage.
Some leverage, but I think if he plays Dobbs, I think that might cancel that out. I really don't think Kirk is that good. That offense has really stalled after their couple good weeks early in the year.
Yeah, but they have a great matchup for this game. The Raiders are the team that made Russell Wilson look good for a week.
Yeah,
true.
And they made Andy Dalton look amazing.
You don't think they're gonna have a bounce back game because they got shut out by the Saints? They're gonna be pissed and
the Raiders?
The Raiders.
Yeah, I know they're terrible, but I don't know.
No.
They're gonna put up more than 0. They're gonna put up something.
So?
Yeah.
There's no effect on Lawrence. Then he'll have to put up more also. So,
I guess he has a slight edge, but if Swift doesn't play, that's a big loss for the Whalers.
Look, I think a lot. I think my head uh says Zamunda. I think my heart doesn't care, and I think that my gut says Whalers. I don't know what body part else you want to give you an assessment, but I don't know. I'm just gonna go with Whalers, but only because I don't think he's. I think Scotty still cares.
He does.
Watching this game will be a pain in our ass.
Yeah.
Come on. Yeah.
So, all right. I'm going with Scotty.
Edge.
Scotty doesn't know. What's your pick?
I'm going with Zamunda.
And Geese?
Going with Zamunda. If he listens to us, Zamunda. If he doesn't, then Whalers.
All right, let's move on to the next game. Gronky Kong versus Wakanda. I'm going with Gronky Kong. All right, next. No, I'm kidding. I mean,
he could like not play a defense, and I'd still go with Gronky Kong.
Absolutely, he already has no defense. I mean, oh my god. I mean, really, how much time do I need to invest in this? Come on. First of all, Freiermuth, I think the only player that got double digits for 9.7. That's a Wakanda double digit. Is on a bye. I mean, oh my god. Whatever. I mean, he sat Madison. The 1 week that Madison got a touchdown, he sat him. Just whatever. So does he have a backup tight end? Does it matter? No, he doesn't have a backup tight end. So, oh wait, he has Ingram. So we'll just move Ingram up there. Play any one of these losers. Who cares? I mean, this team is hot garbage.
Mm-hmm.
I think the better question is how many of Gronky Kong's players will it take to beat his total score?
Probably just like those top four guys.
Yeah, the top four. I think he could do the top. Yeah, the top four will beat him. I don't even think he needs. I mean, we'll just throw in Godwin. I don't even think Godwin's gonna have that good a game. I mean, but if he moved Smith up to the top four, I think those four easily beat Wakanda. Jackson, Smith, Hopkins, and Kamara. That's all he needs.
That's it. All right.
Yeah. As far as if he plays a full team, I mean, we're talking blowout of the week territory. I don't think that we need to do anything else. All right. Is there anybody that's even going to remotely pick Wakanda in this game?
No.
Right. Okay. Let's move on. Which brings us to the last game, the fans game. Oh, wow. They're playing each other in hockey in the quarterfinals, and they're playing each other this week. This is a big game. Actually, we should invest some time in this game because first it's our two fans because we know that Tillett is now a fan too. So let's stroke some egos here, gentlemen. This is where we earn our grade in this game right here. 6-2 Tillett versus 5-3 Crush. What a matchup. So the projection 128.21 to 108.62. Now, granted, there's no defense in there for Tillett, but I mean, whatever. So we got Hurts at Houston on Thursday night. I mean, that's going to be a big game for him going versus Goff versus Green Bay. Clearly an advantage for Dave's Secret Crush, I think, right there. So you got Goff throwing to St. Brown. So taking points off of that. Metcalf and Garrett Wilson, right? Going against Buff. That's a tough matchup there. Hurts to it's looking good for Eugene so far, this top half. I mean, Metcalf might do all right, but yeah, I mean, and especially with Brown taking away points from Goff. Looking good right there. You got Mixon and Fournette going against Etienne and Walker. I think that clearly advantage right there. There's an advantage for Goddard versus Pitts, I would think, unless Pitts is suddenly hot now that he had one touchdown or whatever he had last week. You got Palmer coming in. Why is he questionable also? Is it concussed? Cleared concussion protocol and will play. So he's not even a Q. He'll play. And I think Williams is out, and so is Allen. I mean, and they're going against Atlanta. Huge advantage. Oh my god. Um, and then Carter. I mean, as much as this is an important game, I'm looking up and down, and oh wow, I'll watch your defense live.
Watch your kicker as well.
Oof, yeah. Wow, yeah, well, special teams. I'll be focused on
I'm
the
surprised
special.
McPherson wasn't dropped after that -3.
The cat?
Can we just listen to some more about you ranting about your cat more than anything else?
This is not going to improve our ratings.
I know. I mean, how dare you talk about your cat? Well, I mean, we know what your cat can do. Your cat can get whatever. Your cat could win this game against Tillett.
Yeah, I mean, maybe he might struggle this week.
But he is the spider web. This plays perfectly into his hands. I mean, come on. You look at this. I mean, Tillett, he's lucky. I mean, he's pushing 108.
Well, I think to win this game, he's going to have to score more than 100, which means that he's going to lose.
I mean,
that's how I view this game.
I mean, he's the spider. This is a perfect spider game.
But Hurts and Brown are going on Thursday night, and as we always say, whoever goes on Thursday night usually doesn't win.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I mean, how could you not? I mean, well, we were talking earlier in the show as to whether or not one was a team of destiny or not. If Tillett could spiderweb his way out of this game, I mean, come on. I mean, that's he'll be 7-2. He'll knock down Eugene. I mean, maybe he's starting to make a bid to be that, but everything says that Eugene should win this game.
I agree.
I'm going with
I'm going with Eugene. He's just top to bottom. He just has better players.
Yeah, I know. I mean, he should win by a lot. This should be contender for blowout of the week on paper, but as we've seen all season.
No, but that's why he's the spider. Come on.
I know that's why he's the spider. I'm saying that's why I'm not picking him I'm not picking this as a lock of the week because I know better. I know. In fact, I might even pick this as the upset of the week just because even though I'm clearly picking Dave's Secret Crush, I might hedge my bets on this one just because of how ridiculous he is. But yeah, everything says
this is the spider game of the week.
This is the spider.
So if Eugene beats Tillett or Tillett loses, what place, based on our who we've said would win, what place will Tillett be in at the end of the week?
I mean, it depends. I mean, if
so based on the matchups, let's see.
Well, so Dave's Secret Crush will tie Tillett at that point. So he'll fall at least out of the top two because Dave's Secret Crush would have more points, obviously, because he already has more points, and if he were to win, he would have to have more points. So he drops out a second at least. I mean, depending on what the Hagglers do.
Hagglers is playing who? They're playing
who? What, the Hagglers?
Yeah.
I mean, the Hagglers are playing his nemesis, the Lightning Rod. So one of those.
The Lightning Rod, who are in 6. So if he wins, then he'll be in. Well, depends if he scores more points than Eugene. But is there any?
What?
Is there any path for the Lightning Rods to be in second?
Not after this week, but I mean, he could move up a lot. I mean, it's rare that the fans game actually. I mean, but this. I mean, our two fans. I mean, this is,
Yeah.
This is. I mean, that's the game of the week.
I mean, Tillett could realistically go down to 5th after this week.
It's possible.
That would be ridiculous.
I mean, because we already, depending on how Nick and Jamie do against you, and it's possible. But yeah, I mean, this is a crucially important game for both of these teams.
Mm-hmm.
But if the spider the itsy bitsy spider can crawl out of his water spout, I mean, He secures. I mean, it would be a gigantic win. I mean, it would put Dave Secret Crush at 5-4 and him at 7-2. I mean, basically, it puts it where he's where Dave Secret Crush would have a very difficult time catching him. I mean, that's that. I mean, and that's how important this game is because basically he overtakes him if he if he wins this game. If he loses, it becomes almost impossible for him to catch him, or it becomes very difficult. So,
yeah,
you know, our two fans, one cup, big game.
Yep, very big game.
Yep.
I hope that gets us a good rating. B, at least a B. B
Is
plus.
that worth?
I mean, we picked him. We picked him. We talked about how important his game is. I mean, that's got to earn us a B at least, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right, yeah. Unless it's the Yahoo scoring that's giving us the grades. In which case, I mean, did we go above projections? I mean, because honestly, I mean, because that's Whaler said. You know, it's performance against projections. Did people project a good podcast for us this week or no? I thought we were gonna have a shit one, but you know, I think we met our expectations and exceeded it.
Yeah, there was a lot to talk about this week.
Yeah, I think we're in the solid B territory. All right. So with that, all right, let's so who's our lock of the week?
Playing
Wakanda.
Oh, what am I saying? Of course.
Yeah.
Of course. We didn't even do it.
There are a lot of potentials for lock of the week. Gronky Kong,
yeah, but there's no one. We didn't even have to do an analysis of that game. Come on.
I agree.
Yeah. And the upset of the I think there's actually more candidates for upset of the week than there are for lock of the week. I mean, it's very tough to say. I mean, if anybody wants to do Scotty doesn't know versus Zamunda, I mean, they're 50-50, so I don't know.
Yeah.
Can't really do an upset there.
You might do lightning rods over the Hagglers.
That's got to be. The other stuff looks like it's. Yeah, well, probably upset of the week. I would be upset regardless. Losing the rival makes me upset.
I think I'm going to go with what I said. I'm going to hedge my bets, and I mean this might downgrade us to a B minus, but I'm going to go with the upset of the week just because there's the potential for the spider web to come out. I'll go with Tillit Trey.
Ooh, the fan's not going to like that.
I know he's not. I told you he's going to downgrade us to a B minus. So I'm still picking him in the game, but I'm for the potential upset of the week. So I'm going to be wrong on something. So yeah. Where'd you go, Geese, with your upset of the week?
Lightning rod's upsetting me.
Okay, interesting. All right. Well, that should just about.
All right. Well, good luck, everyone.
Yes, good luck this week. So yeah, we will be on regular time next week. We'll see about the week after that. The week after.
Yeah, next week I'm gonna be in Rome, so I'll probably have to skip Wednesday unless you want to do it on Tuesday night.
Yeah, we could see. You're gonna be in Rome. Well, we're gonna both when we're both gonna be in Europe. Maybe we can meet in the airport.
Which city in Europe are you gonna be in?
London.
London. Okay, so we're just. Well, I was in London a couple weeks ago, but you weren't in Rome a couple weeks ago.
I was in Rome in 1997.
Okay.
Right. It's probably
like, if you were in Rome a couple weeks ago, then we just like swapping cities.
That's true. No, you should go to Bangkok in December. All right. Well, So, yeah, we'll see about next week's scheduling. Maybe we'll try to do it on Tuesday or something. I don't know. We'll see.
All right.
All right. So you leave. Wait. So you leave on Wednesday?
I leave on Wednesday night.
Okay. Yeah, we could try to do a Tuesday one. At least maybe we'll do. Maybe we'll record half of it, and then after the transaction, we'll do the whatever's afterwards. We'll see. All right. Anyway, who cares? Well, you'll know, everybody, when and if we did it and whatever. Okay. So have a good week.
All right. Have a good one.
All right. Peace out.
Everyone.